Herobrine Slayer here. I'm going to be doing part 5 of What's Wrong with Their Faces. Let's read. I don't trust anyone. I can't trust anyone. I originally posted this story to hopefully get some answers, and the hope for answers quickly changed to a hope for help. But I don't think every single one of you is who you say you are. Some of you are asking where I live. Others tell me to come to where they live. Half of you are also convinced that you know what is happening to me, that it's the mold, and that the mold is what caused all of this. But I have a feeling it's something much more sinister than something that is spreading much faster than some mold. I don't know what, but something isn't right. The pieces do not fit together. There are so many things left unexplained. Hopefully there are some of you that can help me. Some of you that aren't here to trick or deceive me. But for now, I will continue my story. I assume that what most of you are here for anyways. I stood at the top of the stairs, staring down into complete darkness. I could hear the footsteps of my sister coming up the steps. She was speeding up. I was freezing, as if I was standing in a freezer. I quickly grabbed the door and slammed it shut. I tried to look for something to block it with, but she was already at the door. I ran down the hall where Stan went, in hopes to find him. I couldn't see much. Stan was the one with the flashlight. I was running in the dark. I could hear my sister break through the door and start running after me. "Charlie, come here. Mom's downstairs." I heard her yell. I ran even faster. I ran my hand against the wall to feel for a door. I finally felt the knob, came in contact with it in my hand, and I tried. It was locked. Alex was getting closer. I was running out of time. I ran a bit more until I found another door. Locked again. I was shit out of luck. My sister was too close to try another door. All the doors seemed to be locked anyways. I crouched, hoping Alex wouldn't be able to see me either. Thankfully, I heard her stop 2 to 3 meters away from me. I could hear her breathing, gasping as if her lungs had collapsed. She was sniffing, as if she could smell me. She could smell my fear. I heard footsteps behind me. That's when I figured my time was up. I was surrounded by this thing, and Stan was nowhere to be seen. I closed my eyes, and I hoped this would all be over. I could see my sister's lifeless body in the pool of blood of her own blood in my head. This image was quickly destroyed when I saw brightness through my eyelids. I opened up and looked at my sister was standing there, but she was not illuminated. Oh my God! Stan breathed behind me. My sister stood in front of me, smiling. Oh my gosh. Her smile was like the others I've seen, big and unnatural. But this smile was different. Although she was smiling, I could see the sadness in her face, as if someone else was controlling her, making her do the things she didn't want to do. Her blue eyes had turned dark gray, like the life had been drained out of her. Her blonde hair was half soaked in blood. She had 2 bullet holes in her head. Blood was still pouring out as if it just happened. Another bullet hole was in her stomach. I could see the blood pouring out her shirt. It was as if she got up off the ground where she had been shot and followed us. The wounds looked fresh, and the blood hadn't dried. This is where I need your help. I want people to know what I saw. I want people to see it for themselves. Hopefully one of you can draw a decent portrayal of my sister. Nothing too specific. Just something for you to look at since I can't take a picture. Help me. The smile was still there, but her voice sounded as if she was crying. Help me, please. She reached out She reached out an arm to me, still asking for help. I almost did. I almost grabbed her hand. Something about it made me feel like my sister was still there. I heard a gunfire behind me. In that second, my sister dropped to the ground. I watched my sister die again. She dropped to her knees and fell forward, head coming extremely close to my legs. I stood up and ran to Stan, who was still in shock. My eyes were fixed on my sister's body. I expected her to get back up again. She never did. "I'm sorry," Stan muttered. "That wasn't my sister. She was already gone. Thank you." But for some reason, I didn't want to believe myself. Something about me was sure my sister was still in there, but there's no way to be sure. "Do you need a flashlight?" Stan asked. "I do on my phone, but it just died. There may be some chargers in the front office. Follow me, stay close behind." We walked back where we came from and to where we entered. There were several desks scattered across the room, but Stan headed for the big one in the center. He crouched down and pulled out a bunch of wires connected to an outlet. "Try some of these, they may fit." I checked a few until I found one that fit my phone. I plugged it in, and I heard a little ding my phone made when it connected. I felt a sense of relief as I saw my phone start up and my home screen come on. I thought how lucky I was to have power here. But why are all the lights off? I had a few messages, but I didn't bother checking them, knowing it would be my mom or someone telling me to come over. I put my phone down and let it charge. I looked at Stan and could feel like I remember him from somewhere. His voice, his face, something was familiar. "You think you remember me too, huh?" "Yes," I replied, "but I don't know why." "Me neither. But for the moment I saw you and your sister, I felt like we all met before. Maybe briefly, but something important." I grabbed his flashlight and looked down the hall where Stan shot my sister. I wanted to make sure she was still there. Thankfully she was. I sat besides Stan. We talked about our past. Hopefully one of us would click in on the other's story and realize where we recognized each other. We talked about half an hour about our past. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He was a stranger. "What's your last name?" I asked. Renwick. "You?" "Brophy. Charlie Brophy." Something clicked inside him. It seemed so familiar. I told him my address, and it looked like a puzzle. The puzzle pieces were falling into place. I tried to tell him anything that seemed important. My parents' name, relatives, anything that I felt like we were getting closer. Charlie Brophy. Charlie Brophy. He repeated. His eyes squinted and he kept on repeating it. The information I gave him. Alex Brophy. His eyes widened. I could tell he knew, but his expression quickly turned into horror. His mouth dropped and he looked deep into my eyes. Something was wrong. Something he remembered. He didn't speak for a few seconds. I waited for him to answer. "What is it?" I asked. While I waited for an answer, my phone started to receive multiple texts. I picked it up, decided to read them. I looked back at Stan, and he looked at me with fear. "What?" I asked. I looked back at my phone. I had gotten several texts from my family. They were all the same text. "She was never your sister." I don't know what that meant, not at the time. I looked back up at Stan. He began to noticed his lips began to move, ready to explain what he realized. His eyes widened. "I think I know where I remember you from." Okay, well, that was part 5. Hope you enjoyed. Kind of short one, but it was fun.